Cricket here, talk to you a little bit about the FX500 Royal. Very excited about this gun. I was very apprehensive about buying this gun. It has the smooth twist barrel, and there's just a few things that kind of made me a little apprehensive. After doing some research and study, I decided to buy one, and I'm very glad I did. There's some differences here and there in it, so I'd like just to kind of give anybody out there who's looking for one of these guns a little heads up and a little bit of insight on my take on it, and maybe some things that weren't said or you couldn't find. So basically, it's a really nice gun. It's a long gun. It's 47 inches long, but to me it handles really well. The extra 7 inches, I guess, maybe when you're carrying around the woods might become a little bit of an issue, but I don't know. It's not really bad to handle. I notice it here, I notice it there, but it seems to be pretty light. It seems to be extremely well balanced. You can hold it right in your hand, and it just sits right there. So it shoulders up really good. It's just a little bit butt heavy, so it sits in your shoulder really nice. It's very comfortable. This is a synthetic stock, black synthetic stock, in case you're watching Ted, black synthetic stock. Anyhow, I know how much you love those black synthetic stocks, and this is my first one. I've been wanting a black synthetic stock for a long time, and I finally got one. So bonus feature that I found that I didn't realize I was getting was an adjustable butt plate. Shame on me for not reading maybe good enough, or shame on them for not putting it out there, but it's just one flat bladed screwdriver and then slides up and down. It's a very familiar looking butt plate. I had one on my AR6 from Evonics, and I really like it, and I like it just a little bit adjusted down. Gives me the perfect cheek weld and mounts right in there. Scope mounts, these are Sports Match extra high scope mounts, and extra high to give you that extra mag clearance. But the cool part about it is with the high cheek comb, it lines everything right up. I look right through and I'm zoom right in where I want it to be. So that part's really nice. I got a Hawk Eclipse 4x16 on here. I really like the Eclipse models. They work really well for the Cricket. I like that center dot. It's got a little dot that illuminates just the very center dot, so I really dig that. For me, it's really nice easy to acquire the target and put the dot on what I want to hit. So it's got a 500cc bottle, and it's got a Foster fill on the bottom. And it also came with this cap, which I didn't know. It's just a little paintball cap that I didn't know it was coming with either, because I went out and bought one, and voila, it had one on there. So I guess maybe thanks to Airguns Arizona is who I bought it from, for thinking of me and putting a dust cap on there. So down here is your gauge, and it's pretty easy to read. Nice red line where you're not supposed to be. And then it's got the Foster fill. One thing that I don't like much about the gun is it's very constricted in there. As you can see with this piece on there, it's hard to get old fat fingers in there. Lucky for the Cricket, they're kind of small. So the problem is when you go to fill and you want to get everything up in there, if you got big fingers, you're going to have to do a little rearranging. I wish they would have opened it up, like they do on here, a little bit on the sides, and gave you a little rounder cap, like some of the other manufacturers do. So I think there's going to be a little modding involved in this gun for the Cricket. Seems like every gun's got its little things, and you need to make it your own. So I'm going to definitely be shaving a little bit off of each side and making it a little bit easier to access for me. So that's how you fill it. It's standard Foster fitting, the 1/8 paintball, and I love that. That's, to me, all the air guns should have that on there. It's so easy. Like I said, I don't know if it's the best or the worst or whatever, but it sure is easy to have everything the same, and to clip it on and clip it off. I really like that. So the FX Royal also has a power adjuster. The wheel just turns a little stiff, which is good. I like stiff, and it's very repeatable. So far I've had no problems. There's 3 power settings on it. I haven't done much testing with the chrony on this yet for the different power settings, but on full power I'm running 878 to 883 to 84 feet per second. This is a regulated version, so I'm getting 43, 44 1.4 foot-pounds of energy with the 25.4 JSBs out of it, which it loves. We'll do some accuracy testing and stuff later on with the rifle, and we'll have all that come out then. I also wanted to point out the side lever. Side lever is right here. It's got a little indentation for you to grab, and there again, to me it's kind of constricted a little bit, but it's easy enough to get in and get out. It's got a nice little rubber piece on there, a plastic piece type piece, hard rubber, for you to grab, and it's got a nice little arm. The nice part about this gun is it cocks extremely easy. I don't know if you guys can see that. You can do it with your pinky. And I'm not sure if the non-regulated ones come that way or not, because mine's regulated, and my other guns are much harder to cock than this rifle. But this rifle cocks extremely easy. It's got a brass, which I thought was interesting, bolt probe, and then there's a steel piece, black steel insert type piece in there. So, and it looks like a brass chamfer port to me. And I know it's going to be hard for you guys to see the breech port right here. It's got a big chamfer in it, and I guess that's kind of cool because it helps line the pellet heads up and stuff. But I have noticed with the single shot tray, and mine was opened up. It was a 22 caliber single shot tray. It was opened up, and what I find is as the pellet's sliding in, it kind of slides off the edge of the single shot tray and drops down into that chamfer, and then it kind of hangs up a little bit. So I did a little fine tuning to get mine so it rides in there smooth. So just a heads up, I don't know if they're all that way or if the newer trays are better. Just a little bit of a heads up on that. So then you gotta make sure you get it lined up. Otherwise the single shot tray works really nice. And then here's your rotary magazine. I've had no issues with that whatsoever. It's your FX magazine. Now let's lay this down here for a second. Synthetic stock, I don't have to worry about marring it up. Ooh, I like that part. Right here you got the magazine, and there's a little ditty on how to do it. But it can go either way. One way you get a spring tension, and the other way you get nothing. So you want to go down with it, rotate it all the way around, and your first pellet goes in back, and that goes in backwards, like so. And then from there you just drop them in the holes all the way around. Now one thing I did notice, guys, is it doesn't take predators at all. And I'm not sure if you can machine it out or not, but when you drop a predator in there, and again it's probably going to be really hard for you to see, you're only talking, I mean come on, you're only talking, I can't even measure it, and it's less than a 1/16 of an inch. It's ridiculously small amount that the tip of the pellet won't allow the magazine to rotate. So in my infinite wisdom, I figured I could just clip it off a little bit with a fingernail clipper, and I just dump it in there, and voila, Predator Polymag be fitting in the FX magazine. I've done a little bit of shooting with them with the clipped off tip, and so far they seem to fly just fine. I've shot them out to 50, 60 yards already. And for me, if I'm going to go beyond 50, 60 yards with a Polymag, it'd be pretty rare. I find most of the time I'm using them 50 yards and in, just because for me the ballistic coefficient, or I'll make layman terms, they drop like a rock. So if I only have 6 inches of drop with my Barracudas or my JSBs, when I throw in a Polymag, I get 8, 10, 12 inches. I mean, they drop considerably more, it seems to be, after 40, 50 yards. So generally I only use the Polymags for 40, 50 yards and in. Most of the time it's 40 to 20 yards or 30 yards to 20 yards and in. It's for early season close quarter shots. So anyhow, that's a little bit about the magazine. So I guess if you're a Polymag shooter like I am, there is a way to do it, and I don't know if you can machine this magazine out or not, if there's enough material in there. The main part of the body is metal. It's aluminum, which I don't know if people know that or not. I didn't know if it was plastic or metal. I just assumed it was plastic, but it turned out to be metal, so that part was good. And the magazine seems to cycle really well. So far, accuracy with the magazine has been equal to accuracy without the magazine. So the gun I size, but it's plenty light for me, even with this beastie scope on there. It's easy to carry all day. The ergonomics of the grip is pretty nice. It's different. It's got a shelf for your thumb. It's right and left orientated, and it's got this huge trigger guard, which I'm not a real fan of, and it's got this hook part in here that I'm not a big fan of either. So I think I'm going to be getting out some of the tools and smoothing this off and slimming this down a little bit and customizing it to get it just to where I would like it. And I'd like to talk about the safety. It's got a hunter style safety on it, I guess they call them that. What I like about it, it's right up on top. It's very quiet. You can silently move it, nobody's going to hear it. I guess there's a slight little tick click in it. S being exposed with the arrow means it's on safe. Can't pull the trigger. Forward, F on the fire, can pull the trigger. So I find the gun to be extremely quiet with this shrouded system they got on there. It's the quietest of all my rifles actually. It's really, really quiet. It shoots extremely well, it shoulders extremely well. All in all, I'd say it's a pretty good winner. The stock feels very, very good. It's got a nice solid feel to it. It doesn't feel cheap or plasticky or anything. It's got good grip, I guess, whatever you call that. Grippies on there. I'm not a big fan of the big FX, but it's got nice grippies on there too as well. So all in all, I'd say it's going to be a heck of a nice gun. I'm really excited about it. I'm really looking forward to taking it out. I get well over 70 shots out of it. I haven't done a complete shot string yet, but I'm going to be doing one of those one of these days. And I mean, 70 shots. I mean, how many more do you need when you go hunting? So we're in excess of 70 shots, and that's 80 yards holding the group. I mean, within 8 or 10 feet per second for the spread. So, all right, let's get on to what everybody loves. Let's do some shooting.